It's funny how life can turn you into the person you never thought you'd be. I never expected to be a dad, let alone to my sister's kid. But here I am, at 34, raising my niece because my sister couldn't get her act together. This isn't some story where family triumphs and everyone hugs it out in the end. This is about betrayal, broken promises, and a whole lot of unpaid debts, both emotional and financial. My sister, who's 2 years younger than me, has always been the family disaster: drugs, theft, and a trail of lies longer than anyone could count. We all watched her spin out of control, but when the cops finally caught up to her for felony theft and drug charges, it was like the world stopped caring. Everyone in our family had long since washed their hands of her mess. No one wanted to deal with her or the fallout that came next. And then there was her daughter, my niece, caught in the middle of it all. She was just 10 years old, terrified, and angry, and all alone. I couldn't stand by and watch her get thrown into the system, so I stepped up. I took her in while my sister had the chance to get clean in rehab instead of facing jail time. My sister swore up and down that she was going to change, that this time was different. I should have known better. She's always been a master manipulator, playing the victim card better than anyone I've ever met. But I didn't do this for her, I did it for my niece, a kid who had been dealt a bad hand from the start. From day one, it was clear my niece wanted nothing to do with her mother. She wouldn't even say her name, wouldn't ask about her, and flinched every time her mom was mentioned. That's when I realized just how deep the wounds went. Over time, she started to open up about the nightmare she'd lived through, stories of neglect, broken promises, and a revolving door of shady men who treated her as little more than an afterthought. There were nights when she'd wake up screaming, and others when she'd cry herself to sleep, asking why her mom didn't love her enough to stop using. I didn't have answers, just a lot of anger at my sister for putting her own daughter through this. I knew I couldn't send her back. Not until my sister proved she was clean and stable, which felt like asking for a miracle. So, I filed for guardianship, determined to give my niece the kind of life my sister had stolen from her. But my sister wasn't about to let her screw-up of a brother tell her how to parent. Instead of getting her life together, she came after me, hiring a lawyer and dragging me into a legal war that bled me dry. For almost 2 years, we fought it out in court, a brutal slog of depositions, hearings, and endless bills. I spent over $100,000 on lawyers, money I didn't have but borrowed, scraped, and sacrificed to find, because I couldn't let my niece go back to that hell. The court battle was ugly. My sister tried every trick in the book, faking sobriety, crocodile tears, blaming everyone but herself. She played the grieving mother who just wanted her child back, all while failing drug tests and missing meetings with her parole officer. I had to sit there, month after month, watching her lie through her teeth while I paid lawyers to expose the truth. When the court-appointed guardian ad litem finally sided with me, confirming that my niece was thriving in my care and wanted nothing to do with her mom, it was like winning the hardest fight of my life. But the victory was bittersweet. I was angry, angrier than I'd ever been, because I had to fight my own sister to protect her child. And even when I won, I felt like I lost something I couldn't get back: time, money, and whatever remained of the bond one had with my own blood. Somewhere in the middle of that legal nightmare, I found out that as my niece's guardian, I was entitled to child support from my sister. I won that too, though I doubted she'd ever pay a dime. But the state doesn't play games. They've been on her like hawks, garnishing her wages, raiding her bank accounts, whatever it takes to scrape together what she owes. Over the years, that unpaid debt has ballooned to about $30,000, and every cent of it feels like a reminder of what she put us through. And now, after all that, my family's coming to me, acting like I'm the villain. Suddenly, everyone's worried about my sister's finances, claiming she's turned her life around and that the child support is just dragging her down. She's doing better, they say, as if that erases the damage she's done. They've all bought into this redemption narrative where my sister is the struggling hero who just needs a little break. And apparently, I'm the one holding her back. They want me to forgive the debt, to just let it go, because family helps family, and she's trying. But I'm not about to reward her for dragging me into a fight she never should have started. I've heard the sob stories, the guilt trips, hell, my own parents have called me heartless. But you know what? I didn't put my sister in this mess. She did. She made her choices, and those choices cost me 6 figures, my peace of mind, and more sleepless nights than I can count. The least she can do is pay what she owes, even if it takes her the rest of her life. So I've started telling my relatives, if you're that desperate to help her, pay off her $30,000 debt to me. Cover what she owes until my niece turns 18, and then I'll forgive the rest. Funny thing is, nobody's rushing to take me up on that offer. They just get offended, calling me cruel or vindictive, as if I'm the one being unreasonable. But here's what they don't get. My sister didn't just wreck her life, she tried to wreck mine too. I'm the one who showed up when she couldn't, who fought tooth and nail to keep her daughter safe, who paid a price that nobody else in this family was willing to pay. So, yeah, maybe I'm bitter. Maybe I'm angry. But am I wrong for refusing to let her off the hook? I don't think so. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not even asking for understanding. I just want people to see the truth, that my sister made her choices, and now she has to live with them. And if that means she owes me $30,000 that she'll never fully pay, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about the money. It's about accountability, and making sure that, for once, my sister faces the consequences of her actions. Am I the asshole? Maybe. But at least I'm the asshole who stepped up when nobody else would. And that's something I can live with.